Hello everyone, hope you are all good. I'm Narayan Billa. I'm going to discuss about the new iPhone Plus over previous versions. So let's begin the presentation with the great growing engine of change. The first iPhone. It was launched in 2007, June 29. Steve Jobs launched this iPhone in his own theater and quoted this iPhone as, "This is only the beginning. Apple reinvents the iPhone." This was the first smartphone designed and marketed by Apple. This was the first phone which was screen-based interface with a size of 3.5-inch display. First phone in the market used by finger instead of stylus, as stylus was used by market peoples to get through on the touchscreen devices. iPhone is a combination of the three devices: widescreen iPod with touchscreen, revolutionary mobile phone, and breakthrough internet communicator. iPhone 3G and 3GS. It's going to explode. It was quoted by Steve Jobs for launching this device. The release dates of both the iPhones were June 9, 2008 and June 19, 2009. This was the phone which was fast as its predecessor. It was based on the faster 3G networks which used to connect with the internet services. It was built in with the GPS services which was used to share their location. iPhone 3 come up with the 16 gigs of storage capacity and iPhone 3GS come up with the 32 gigs of space. It was based on the latest version of iPhone, iOS, iPhone 4 and 4S. Once you use Retina display, you can't go back. This was quoted by Steve Jobs when he was launching these devices. On June 7, 2010, iPhone 4 was launched in his theater, and a year later, on October 14, iPhone 4S was launched. These both devices come with the compatibility of the video chat, which Apple mentioned as FaceTime. High-resolution Retina screen was built in the devices, 640 into 960 pixels at 326 pixels per inch. iPhone 4S came up with the new dual-core processor which Apple used in iPad 2. The new CEO of Apple, Tim Cook, was hired during the launch of these devices. iPhone 4S was the phone with the maximum capacity up to 64 gigs, which came up with the price of $400. This is the best thing to happen to iPhone since iPhone. This was quoted by Steve Jobs when the launch of iPhone 5, 5S, and 5C. iPhone 5 was launched in 2012, September 21, and a year later, two phones, iPhone 5S and 5C, were launched. iPhone 5C was considered as a special phone. These phones were slimmer and much faster than the previous version of iPhones. These iPhones come with an increased size screen, 4-inch diagonal screen, which was 630 in 1136 pixels. Touch ID was launched, which was the best for the privacy. This was launched in only 5S phone. iPhone 5C, it was reskinned iPhone 5 with a plastic body and a cheaper price and a lesser functions. iPhone 5S was based on 64-bit A7 SoC, which was acronym for System on a Chip, the fastest processor at that time. Four models, the same series that was Series 6. iPhone 6, 6 Plus was launched in 2014, September 9, and a year later, on September 9, 6S and 6S Plus launched. The smartphones with the largest touchscreen, that is 5.5-inch, 6 Plus and 6S Plus. These were the largest screen ever built in the touchscreen phones. E9 processor. This was the processor which was most efficient processor till 2014. These were having upgraded cameras which can shoot 4K videos. Apple Pay network. Apple Pay network was built in these devices for the payment electronic payments, and Touch ID was inbuilt in these iPhones also. Touch was now 3D. Force touch technology was inbuilt in these new iPhones. These iPhones were compatible with the LTE networks, that means 4G networks which we use for the internet connectivity, and the new color was launched, that was rose gold. And the beautiful color, now portraits are in iPhone. It was stated by Steve Jobs on the release of iPhone 7 and 7 Plus in 2016. iPhone 8 and 8 Plus were launched in 2017 on September 22. These models come with the improved camera setup in all launch devices. Plus models came up with the dual camera setup, 4K video setup up to 60 fps, which was frames per second, and 1080p slow-mo recording was there at 240 fps. 8 Fusion quad-core processors in iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus, an A11 Bionic chip. This was the fastest chip which can perform maximum functions at that time. It was inbuilt in iPhone 8 and iPhone 8 Plus. Audio jacks were eliminated due to security reasons. Storage were increased in top and variants up to 256 gigs. Home buttons was changed to haptic-based virtual button. Three modes of home button were inbuilt, and we can set it according to our accountability. New glass and aluminum designs were launched in iPhone 8 and 8 Plus versions. Wireless charging was supportable in iPhone 8 and 8 Plus. This was the phone which came up with the HD Retina display with the maximum brightness in the iPhones. Phone with the real change. And one more thing. These were the lines quoted by the Steve Jobs and Tim Cook, who was the CEO of Apple at the time, on the release of iPhone X, also known as 10, in 2017 and November 3. This was the real phone with the change. It comes up with a 5.8-inch edge-to-edge Super Retina display, OLED panel that supports Dolby Vision and HDR10. Dolby Vision was used to record videos and capture the minor things in the video. It comes up with a two-tone display. That means the brightness of the phone adjusts automatically to depth camera system, privacy to the peak. Face ID was invented in the iPhones. This was the first iPhone and the first touch phone in the world come up with the Face ID, which uses our face and our eyes to unlock the phone. Inbuilt gestures for the navigation. A11 Bionic chip with neutral engine that can perform 600 billion operations per second. This was the maximum operations that a chip can perform at that time. This was the Apple's most expensive phone that was up to date. Portrait mode for the better selfies was there. This was the phone which can do everything till the date that other phones cannot do. iPhone 11 series, three iPhones, three different screen sizes, and three different functions. These were the phones which will come out on 2019 on September 20. iPhone 11, which was 6.1 inch, having liquid retina display. iPhone 11 Pro, which was 5.8 inch in size, and iPhone 11 Pro Max, which was 6.5 inch, come with the Super Retina XDR display. New triple camera system with ultra wide lens in Pro models. Only 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max come with the triple camera system with ultra wide lens. A13 Bionic chip, which was launched in these three phones, which was the chip fastest up to date in all phones. Battery life was stronger 1 hour in iPhone 11, and 5 hours in the Pro models. New color was launched, that was midnight green, that come up only in the two models, that is iPhone 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max. Slow motion selfies, we can record and shoot them. iPhone 12 series. This was the series which was quoted as the real pros. iPhone 12 mini and iPhone 12 Pro Max. The two phones were launched in 2020 on November 13, and iPhone 12 Pro and iPhone 12 was launched on October 23. These were the iPhones with the different screen sizes and having the all phones having the Super Retina XDR display. iPhone 12 mini having 5.4-inch display, iPhone 12 and 12 Pro 6.1-inch display, and iPhone 12 Pro Max with the largest screen display of 6.7-inch. A14 Bionic chip processor. This was the most powerful processor till today. This was the fastest processor, and this is the most fastest processor. Triple camera system compatible to capture night shots in the low light conditions. It supports 5G networking. 4K video was compatible, which can be recorded at 24 frames per second, 30 frames per second, and 60 frames per second, and HDR video recording with Dolby Vision up to 30 frames per second. Comes back with the upgraded design of iPhone 12 with the skewer design at the boundaries. It came up with a 5x optical range, LiDAR sensor for the fastest focus, and improved AR and VR. LiDAR sensors, this is the major update in the 12 series of iPhones, only in the Pro models. This comes up with a OLED screen with ceramic shield, which is 4 times better resistance to breaking if dropped. It means it is protected internally and externally to its peak. This was all about presentation. I hope you like it. Thank you everyone.